Hey guys, welcome to the Evan and Katelyn podcast, the podcast that was until recently literally covered in insulation.
Oh, it's so true.
It's so true.
Oh, too real.
All right, guys, welcome to another Evan and Katelyn podcast. Wait, what?
What do you mean? Wait, what?
I forgot what I was saying.
Okay.
Maybe that's because I just fell through the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't just fall through the ceiling. That was a few days ago.
It was a few days ago. We're gonna have a little story time podcast.
Yeah. We just had a lot of thoughts around that incident, and we wanted to share the story, share the thoughts, because I think it led to some interesting conversations.
Do you want to say what happened?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we were in the attic working on a ceiling. I mean, working on flooring. We were installing flooring in our attic so that we could store more stuff.
It's
Very
the video
practical project.
that just came out a couple days ago. If you're listening to this Monday.
And so I was just talking about how the floor up there isn't that sturdy and how we need to replace it with a more sturdy floor. I walk over and I fall through.
Well, it's not just that.
What's that?
We did that take 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
So
The first time wasn't great.
So we're up there, and it's, like a talking scene where there's a few specific points we're trying to hit, but we're also trying to be concise, but also fast. And sometimes it's kind of hard to do, especially when it's like midnight and you've been sweating in an attic and you just want to be done. So we did the line once. It was like, okay, we did it again. It was pretty good.
The second time was pretty good. And we like the crazy thing is like we were going back and forth. We're like, should we do it again? Should we not do it again? Because like I get worse and worse the more takes I do.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that good at saying the same things multiple times. The first is usually the best because it's the most genuine. But I was feeling like pretty good. I was like, you know what? My attitude's pretty good. I'm feeling this. I can do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. And I feel like I can do it better and more concise.
So we did it one more time.
One more time. And that's the thing that's included in the video, but we'll get into that later. And I walk over, I slip, I fall through the roof. I fall through the ceiling, and oh man, that was just a horrible moment.
What went through your head? Like, did it happen in slow motion when you fell? It looked like slow motion to me when you fell, because this whole time, because we were filming a take, like I had the camera in my hands and I was filming. Yeah.
And I was still in like filming mode 2 in like YouTube mode, and like the sad thing or the interesting thing, let's just say interesting. The interesting thing that went through my head as I fell through the ceiling is like, I caught myself. Let's look back at the camera just in case it's interesting. And I'm like, oh geez, are my priorities straight? Probably not, but
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's just so far in my head,
It's so deeply ingrained. I guess I
was in filming mode, I mean, like,
that's why we were able to do that third take.
Yeah. But like, I mean, immediately afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, that could have been so much worse. That was like the small part of what was running through my head. But I mean, I mentioned it in the video. Like, I pulled myself back up. I got up nice and carefully and slowly, made sure that I was safe pulling myself back up. And then I looked down at the mess that our office was. And I'm just like, I just do not want to deal with this at this point. We had been sweating in the attic for like hours by that point. Mm-hmm. It was 11 something at night.
Or midnight. It might have been later.
Or midnight. We were so tired and done. And this was going to be the last thing that we were going to do that night. We were going to finish that take and we were going to go to bed, shower and go to bed. It was going to be a nice, like, perfect conclusion to the day. And it literally went downhill.
Well, and this is like the worst room for insulation to fall on because it's all of our electronics. So it fell like all over our editing computer, all over our soundboard and our streaming/podcast computer that we're using
there was
right
insulation
now.
all in these
the
microphones.
mics.
Like, this computer is still scarred up on the edges where there's like drywall grit embedded on the computer. We're still cleaning up dust.
Yeah, somehow
days later,
I lost a single key on my keyboard, which, like, I don't know how it hit.
Yeah,
just
your
that
right
key.
Control key just like shattered.
Yeah, it's just gone. I don't know.
I tried to install it afterwards, but like the little hooks on it were broken off, so I literally can't reinstall that key.
Just that one key though, like, it's so weird. It was like, nope.
Oh man, but like, I'm pretty proud about how we dealt with it. We both like kind of took 5 minutes of just like sitting up in the attic,
looking through the hole down
just
into
looking
our office.
through. Like I don't think we said much, did we?
No.
We just kind of sat there, looked down the hole, looked at each other, said some slightly profane words, I think.
Yeah, there were profane words muttered.
We usually don't cuss.
I
but,
cursed
like,
in the video. I had to bleep it out.
Oh yeah.
When you fell.
Yeah.
I said the S word.
Shoot.
I said, oh, shoot. That's what I said.
Shoot.
Oh, shoot.
Many times. I think I said some more strongly worded language.
Yeah, we might have gotten a little strongly worded when we were up there looking down through the hole at everything covered in insulation.
But like the funny thing is like the insulation was just like going around our computers, getting sucked up in the vents. But we just kind of couldn't move. We were just kind of like sitting there, staring down, and we just like took a few minutes.
Yeah. Most of the time, I'm really happy that we have blown insulation. It was so easy to DIY ourselves. Yep. It's nice because it's like a green recycled fiber. So, with all the work up there, we don't get very itchy at all, really. Like, it's not as bad if you happen to breathe some in. Like, there's so many benefits. But in that moment, I was like, God dang it, I wish we just had insulation batting and that's it. Because,
it would have been
that was the worst
a lot
part
less
of the
bad.
mess.
Yeah. I'm looking at the art piece that we did, like the twisted wood veneer art to my left. And there's still like fiber pieces just stuck all up in there.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to be finding
I'm pretty sure like years later, we're going to be finding bits of it around our office.
Yeah. I found some like embedded in the T-slot aluminum from our desk.
But I mean, like...
that's another crazy thing.
What's that?
It's like...
the scary part?
Yeah, the scary part is
Yeah.
Like just under where the hole is. So our main desk, not the streaming desk we're on right now, the rainbow resin LED one, the older one that we made, it is also made of aluminum extrusions. And because it used to be a standing desk, the 4 posts, like the legs, are high at standing height in case we ever want to raise it back up. But right now, it's lower to a normal height. So we just have like these 4 posts sticking up, these 4 aluminum posts. And one of them is right under where the hole is.
Yeah, and it's pretty sharp. It's like sharp edges.
It's pretty sharp,
it's
but
very
it's metal.
dangerous.
It's like a metal post. Ugh,
yeah, I'm re-looking at that. Like,
right? It's kind of, that would be bad to fall on.
That'd be really, but like anything in here would be bad to fall on.
Anything in here would be bad
There's
to
not
fall on.
like a beanie...
A beanbag
cushion. Oh, like a beanie cushion. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That might be a thing. I don't know. But yeah, that was a scary part. Like thinking about like what could have been, and we just didn't let ourselves go down that path too much.
We couldn't. We had to like immediately clean up because we couldn't let it get sucked into our computers.
I think most people would have just like called it a day, closed the door, shut everything down, and like left it to deal with tomorrow.
Maybe,
but no, we like swept up, we cleaned up, we vacuumed.
We tarped off the ceiling.
Tarped off the ceiling so that, we weren't losing AC. We like fully cleaned up that night.
Yeah.
Until like 12:40.
And then we had to go on then.
Well, yeah, I had the request. I'm like, I want French fries and ice cream right now. So we went to McDonald's. That seems like something good to do.
Yeah, we needed to decompress. So we went to McDonald's because it's like the only place open. And we got, and the fries are delicious.
Yeah.
We got French fries and some ice cream. And we just ate that like adults.
We just like sat down at our living room or our dining room table.
Yeah.
And just shared ice cream and French fries because we're adults and we can do that.
And that's how we like to deal with our emotions.
Healthy.
And then we went on a walk, which is a little bit healthier way to deal with our emotions because we were still kind of like wound up. So we're going on a walk.
We did go for a long walk.
And it was like 1:30 in the morning at that point. Luckily, we live in a safe area. We go on a lot of late walks.
Oh, yeah. It was so crazy because like we were walking around and it was complete silence. There were no cars, no people. It was just like just 2 of us.
Yeah.
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 Oh, man. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. And like looking through the footage, I mean, I kind of see how it happened. I was probably rushing a little bit. I wasn't taking the time, placing my feet where they should have been.
Well, it's hard because in your head, you were trying to keep track of like, I got to say this and I got to do this scene quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that was the main thing is that we were struggling to get all the information in a concise scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And usually I have like 2 or 3 points of contact. I like to have like one solid foot and then my hand somewhere and then the other foot is searching. But I had like 2 feet on the same beam and my hand was on like another place, but it just wasn't enough.
I mean, I don't know if I could have like, I mean, the good news is you kept your hand on that beam.
Yeah.
You know,
like
it just slipped down the beam.
Yeah.
You like kept a hold on it because I was reviewing the slow-mo footage. and like your foot that did have a solid, spot, it stayed up. So it was just your right leg that went down through the ceiling.
Yeah. One leg stayed up, both arms stayed up above, and I caught myself with multiple points.
Yeah.
So I like spread out the bruising. So it's like spread out between, somehow both my legs got bruised and both my arms got bruised, but like
and your
all
back.
very light bruising. Yeah. And my back. But
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not
bad.
worse though.
I'm surprised it's not worse. I was able to like walk around and function that night.
Yeah. You're
And the bruises
okay.
showed up more a few days later. But that night, did we review the footage that night?
No, we didn't do it till the next day.
I think didn't we review it on the camera?
Oh, did we?
I think we did.
Oh, we're just like gluttons for punishment.
I just wanted to like see it for some reason. I don't know why. I just wanted to like see how bad it was.
Yeah. Can confirm, was bad.
It was bad, but it's so painful watching it because like for us, like we knew it was going to happen. So we're watching, and like we start cringing in advance
Yeah.
of the fall. And we're like, we kind of like clench up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I think we watched it on the camera that night.
Mm-hmm. And then came the
Transferred it in.
question of, do we include it in the video?
And we started discussing that night for some reason.
Yeah, well, again, gluttons for punishment. Yeah, that was hard to answer because, we always try to include the mistakes that we make in our video. So, like, if we're doing a resin pour and we mess up, we include it. If we're building a catio and we cut the legs wrong, we include it because I feel like it makes projects more approachable. If you're someone watching, if you see that, these people you're watching mess up and then you mess up, it's like, well, it's okay that I messed up.
Well, and
'cause
also
everyone
it's
messes
like we do like almost a version 1 for everybody so that you can do version 2. It's like we do it
We got
the
that
first.
for making it.
Yeah, I know. Thank you making it, guys. But yeah, it's like
Another podcast if you aren't familiar.
It's like, the people who make YouTube videos, we show us doing it for the first time, and hopefully you guys can learn from it and, make the version 2 right away after the mistakes that we made. So yeah, it's definitely our instinct to always include the mistakes, but at the same time, this was a serious thing
That could have been really bad.
Could have been really bad.
Like when
And-
we called, because we didn't have time to fix this ourselves.
No.
Because there's a specific deadline with the project, and even though we knew we probably could push, we just didn't want to push it because it would have pushed everything. And so we were calling around to hire it out, and we were talking to people about the ceiling repair. The first person we talked to was like, "Oh yeah, I've had to fix ceilings or people died," and it was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, so it's not. It's and when you see it in movies, it's like a comical thing that happens.
Yeah,
you know?
and when I heard that, I was like, oh, I don't know if we can include this because
Yeah.
it's a serious thing, and we don't want to make light of a serious thing, but at the same time, we do want to raise awareness that there is a danger. And then, we were talking with other people, and they're like, but guys, people have died doing almost everything. So it's like, are you going to prevent yourself from showing...
Like using a table saw.
Using a table saw? And we're like, that's kind of a good point, because... But at the same time, it's like, it's not like we had kickback and...
That's true.
I mean...
We didn't misuse it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, but we went back and forth a lot, starting on the night that it happened, at McDonald's during our walk. And one thing that was interesting is, like, telling my parents about it is actually when I started rethinking, like, that we might include it. Because that night we concluded, no, we can't show that. It's like too dangerous. It's too serious. And how could we like be going about our normal videos, which we try to make like lighthearted and fun because we do have fun. And it is, I don't know, I think that the videos that we make, the time that we spend together is a very fun thing. And we like sharing that that making and doing things is fun. It leads to a nice sense of accomplishment, and it's like that's the type of video we want to make, And it was hard to mix that vision of our videos with this serious thing that happened. You know what I mean? And
Also,
I just didn't see how we could do it.
Also, you know, during that first night, we had not yet found the like irony and humor, really.
Yeah.
Like we hadn't gotten to the point where we could look back and laugh at it. So that first night we were like, no, this is terrible. We are not going to include it. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to like see this terrible thing.
But like when I was telling the story to my parents, that's when I started finding the humor in it, because I
Yeah.
kind of had to make it funny for them. Otherwise, like, I don't know, I didn't want to depress them or anything.
Yeah.
But like, you know, finding the humor in it, like saying like right before I fell through the ceiling, I said like, oh, I almost fell through the ceiling. Wouldn't that have been like really crazy if I, you know, it's like all of the ironic things about what actually happened.
Yeah. The fact that we were installing floors to make it safer.
Yeah.
The fact that literally right before you had stepped on a creaky board that kind of popped and you were like, wouldn't it have been crazy if I fell through right now into our office?
Oh, the foreshadowing.
The foreshadowing.
Yeah. So it's like we found the humor in it at that point, and then we started coming back around to like, oh, maybe we can include this in the video.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Although we did call like, so this is a Lowe's sponsored video, and we called the agency we work with, like with Lowe's, to ask their opinions on like, do you think we can include this? Is it, you know, is it weird?
Because it's not necessarily on brand for like a home improvement channel to show this. Usually it's like experts presenting how to do things. But I think that, you know, part of our identity is, again, showing people like what we've learned and the mistakes and bringing you guys along this adventure with us, and, you know, being true to, you know, the truth of that adventure.
True to the truth.
But like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm just making fun
My
of you.
words are hard. Thanks. Make fun of the guy who just fell through the ceiling minutes ago. Not really minutes ago.
Days ago.
Days ago. Recent traumatic experience.
But yeah,
it-
they were pretty cool with the idea of us including it. You know, we kind of pitched how we wanted to include it. Like we wanted to give some lessons learned, but also, you know, keep it kind of positive. And before we reached out to them, we kind of had to edit it, because I was like, I don't know if I can edit this in and keep that balance of like, we want to communicate this is a really serious and scary thing that happened, and we want to communicate how to avoid it, but we also want to keep it lighthearted. And it was kind of tough.
It was tough. Yeah.
but-
It was tough to strike that balance.
It was tough to strike that balance.
How
yeah.
was it editing it?
Not bad once I got going.
Not bad once you
It
got
was
going.
harder to like the brainstorming beforehand about like what we wanted to say.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
harder than editing.
How was like editing that sequence of me falling through the roof? Like seeing it again and again and again.
Yeah, because I did like repeat it multiple times in slow
Yeah.
motion. I think by that point it had become footage.
Uh-huh.
You know, the first few times we watched it together, that's when it like the clenching was happening. You know, by the time I was editing it into the video, we had already watched it so many times.
Yeah.
That I think it was just footage.
Yeah.
You know?
It was just like you could pretend that like it was just part of the project, you know, you're like
It was like any other slow motion thing. Because, you know, there's often times where something will happen and I cut back to a clip of it in slow motion, you know, and it just kind of became one of those.
yeah.
You know, you just watch it enough times. It was weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
One thing that's also kind of weird to me about this is, so this happened Thursday night.
Sure. I don't know.
I think it happened Thursday night because I remember the day after was launch day.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was Thursday.
So we were launching the video the next day, and the crazy thing to me is
the zombie flail video.
oh yeah, the zombie flail video, and you know we've had lots of setbacks before. You know, with the table that we're at, we like put the rods in at the wrong place. We have had curing issues with silicone. We've had all these different issues and all sorts of other projects. And usually the delay due to those issues is quite long.
Yeah.
You know, but just partially because of the day it was launching and everything, and partially just because we didn't have the time to fix it. Like on Friday, we called a drywall repair person, and they came and they fixed it while we were launching in the other room. And the whole delay of me falling through the ceiling was about like an hour's worth of our time cleaning up.
Yeah.
And that's the entire length of time. It delayed us.
It was actually like our smallest setback when you think time-wise.
Me falling through the ceiling, not the roof, was the smallest delay we've had in a project. Like, other than that, it went really smoothly. Everything went as planned.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is pretty weird.
It's pretty weird.
Funny. That reminds me of another like ironic thing is when we were looking up drywall repair, our own video on how to patch and repair drywall popped up, and we were like, ugh. I did briefly think, because when we were trying to brainstorm about how to include it, and we were like, well, I don't know if it should be in this video. Is it going to like throw off the whole vibe? Mm-hmm. So I did briefly think, like, what if we do another video that's how to patch your ceilings? And it's part of that video. But we just really didn't want to do it, and we didn't have time. Yeah, this wasn't time.
Well, but also, I mean, there's a big difference between patching a little hole, or a small hole, a medium hole, and a large hole, versus patching a giant hole in your ceiling.
Yeah.
In a room with your computers.
Yeah.
Because we didn't move the computers and desks all the way out. We pushed them up against the walls because these desks are really big. We built them in this room, and they are able to be disassembled because they are T-solid aluminum framing.
But we didn't want to disassemble them and move them.
Oh, no.
No.
And like watching the professionals come in here, like people who do this all the time and fix it up, they like taped it up in this really great way. I should have like brought you in here to show you it, mm-hmm. But like they did the tape in a certain way so that like they taped up the whole thing with just the sticky side showing. And then once all the tape was in place and there's sticky showing all the way around, then they stuck the drop cloth to the tape. So they did the tape and not the drop cloth.
Oh.
And like they put the tape in a certain way so that it was like sticking down and everything. And then they added the drop cloth to it. And so it was like...
So you're not like wielding the drop cloth while you're trying to attach the tape.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
So they did the whole thing with tape, and then they did the drop cloth. So there's all these little tips and tricks that people who do this all the time know for these like big jobs. For the small jobs, it's like kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. But for the big repairs...
For like drywall stuff.
For drywall stuff, yeah, there's just like things that people who do this all the time know that we just...
Don't know
just because we haven't done it.
Yeah.
That many times, you know?
Well, we've never done a hole that big, and we've never done a ceiling, which... Ugh.
No, we did. Remember the
Oh, we did do a ceiling.
Right over there,
yeah.
the water damage.
It was just before YouTube. That's right. We patched like a 2 foot by 2 foot hole in the ceiling.
And it took us 2 days.
Yeah, it did. And it was miserable. And it still doesn't look great.
Hey, you know what? It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
So on that one in particular, we took out a square of drywall. We were like, okay, we cut between these two beams. It's a square, yada, yada, yada.
We had a leak. That's why we did it.
Like a horrible leak.
Oh, that's why. Okay, you know, in the attic video, when we are giving like the attic tour.
Yeah.
And we showed that quote unquote breakfast nook and the quote unquote sink.
Yep.
Where the sink is, that's where we had to replace a pipe because the old pipe was leaking. So we just like quickly went up and like haphazardly sawed through the plywood to try to reach the pipe to replace it quickly because it was leaking in the hallway.
Yeah. It was like we came back from work one day and we noticed that the ceiling was sagging. So I took it.
I came back.
Oh.
I came back and I saw water on the floor.
Oh, you saw water on the floor?
I saw water on the floor.
Didn't we poke it with a nail or something to see?
Well, I put a bucket under there and I waited for you to get home because I didn't want to poke it by myself in case there was like a rush of water.
I think I poked it with a nail because I'm like, okay, if it's already dry up there, I can poke it with a nail. It'll let the water out and then we can see what it was. So I poked it with a nail and it was like...
Yeah.
And it just like rained down.
Yeah. And the reason the patch job looked so bad is because the drywall got all like saggy and warped and we didn't want to patch more than what we did because then we would have had to go around lights and man.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, I don't like ceiling repair.
It was a slapdash job.
Yeah, you know.
That took 2 days.
It's because I kept layering on more and more mud to try to like bridge the gap in the slope and the height difference. So much mud in that, like drywall mud in that section.
It's probably more mud than drywall.
Yes. Can confirm.
Can confirm. Okay, what were we saying? We also have to admit that one reason why we kind of wanted to include the falling footage in the video is like falling through a ceiling isn't a pleasant experience, but one way to make it like more worth it is to like get some benefit from it. And I know that sounds so like YouTuber-y or something.
Well, it doesn't sound YouTuber-y till you admit what you're thinking or what we were thinking.
Because like it might lead to more clicks, more views. It might like make the thumbnail better.
Yeah.
You know, if we can we still haven't made the thumbnail, so hopefully we make something good out of it. But it's like, you know, we never try for sensationalism content, but like, if I'm going to fall through a ceiling, I might as well get some views out of it, right? I don't know. Is it weird to think that?
It feels weird, but I also can't help but think it. And we also like reached out to another YouTuber friend, and he kind of like felt the same way.
He's like immediately, he's like, do it. Definitely do it. And we're like, but it feels weird.
It feels weird. It feels like capitalizing on a bad thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it was like real. It wasn't manufactured.
No, it wasn't manufactured, and I'm not doing it for the views. But
no,
like,
I can confirm you did not fall through the ceiling for
the
views.
views. No, but it's
and
like
we don't even know if that's. We don't even know like the effect it'll have.
Yeah, it might lead to like bad things. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, because we did think like there's a risk reward. There's like a risk that bad things could result from us keeping it in there, or good things. So it's like a little bit of a roll of the dice type gamble, you know?
Yeah. And by the way, we usually record the Monday podcast after the Friday video is released. We're doing this one a little bit earlier because we wanted to do it while the fall is still fresh.
Yeah.
So the attic video is not out yet. There's a chance Lowe's could call us back and be like, no, actually don't include it. There's a chance it'll tank. There's a chance it'll go viral. We have no idea what's going to happen.
No
so
idea.
It's all speculation at this point.
I don't think that this is going to go viral. I mean, like...
You don't think an attic organization video is going to go viral? Oh, my God.
I doubt it.
I'm just using, I'm just speaking in extremes.
Yeah. So by the time this comes out...
you guys will know.
You guys will know. It'll be exciting.
Yeah. But it was kind of strange because we didn't know if we would get pushback. We've done some things that are like questionably safe before, but like that we always felt like relatively comfortable doing, especially because we're not like showing ourselves as experts. But this one just did feel more dangerous, and we wanted to like we don't want it to come off that like we didn't take it seriously,
You know what I have?
That's the main thing I worried about.
I have something to admit.
What?
After we patched the ceiling in the hole in the ceiling, I actually had a thought like, dang it, I should have gotten more photos of me up there for the thumbnail.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like I could have gone back up there, like stuck my leg through, and you could have gotten some photos like that like frame it right and like showed the dramaticness of it. We could have set up the tripod, and you could have like shown like your hands pushing my foot back up through the attic or something. It's like
I kind of regret that too.
But is it weird that I regret that? Because that seems almost more capitalizing on it, and then it makes it fake, almost.
Yeah. Well,
I have mixed thoughts.
And when we were having people come fix it, at that point we were on the not included side of the fence.
Yeah.
Like we were thinking we weren't going to.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until it was already fixed that we started flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel that way too.
Let's just bust through again and get another thumbnail. JK.
But I also feel really weird and bad for feeling that way.
I know.
I don't know. Emotions.
Emotions are real.
But it is like doing what we do. Like it does get in your head a lot. Like this job is all consuming.
Because like we try not to judge the value of our video based on the views, likes, and shares, but at the same time,
you do.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just being realistic here. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe more seasoned veteran YouTubers are past the point of caring, but like we still care a lot. We've only been doing this for a couple years, and it's like I feel like people who have done it longer still care too.
Yeah.
I don't know how seasoned you got to be to just be like, yeah, whatever.
Now, what I'd also like to say is, well, now that we're a little bit bigger, we don't need the growth as much. We don't need the views as much. I don't care as much, but I don't think that that's true at all.
Well, for me, it's like, yes, you know, we managed to make this a full-time job. Like, we're not struggling to pay bills or anything like that. So in that aspect, yeah, we're fine. But what we do struggle with is time. And if we got to a point where we didn't have to have a sponsor in every video.
Or we can make like one less video a month or something.
Yeah, or like it wasn't as big of a deal. You know, right now, we just recently, in the past couple months, started taking buffer weeks every now and then. And that's been a huge help. And that was because financially we could have one less sponsor a week. But like growing and being able to make more money per video just means that we wouldn't have to like work so hard all the time. You know what I mean? So that's why that's why we want it.
And there's I'm not even sure if I've shared this like Evan and Katelyn I have this like list running somewhere in my Google Documents called the Evan Life Cheat Sheet. And I think that one of the things I've kind of like realized at some point during one of our walks is like, it's not that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. It's if you love your work, you'll always be working.
Yeah.
And it's still work, but you want to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's what we want to do. But there definitely is a big difference between needing to work and wanting to work and working. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Did those words make work?
Something like that.
Something like that. So it's like, okay, let me see if I can say this a little bit better. If we didn't have to work, what we would be doing is pretty much this.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? But if we have to do this because of sponsors and schedule and stuff like that, then it feels like we're being forced to do it. So they're very similar, but like that differential is also huge in terms of like what it means for us.
Yeah. It's just like a mental
switch
thing. Yeah. And not only in terms of how much time we have to put into things, but also if we had less sponsors, we would have a little bit more freedom in terms of what type of projects we could do. Some sponsors are really chill about it. Some sponsors have more specific ideas. But yeah, also there would be a little bit less worry about a video's performance, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I say that. I think it would always get to me.
Well, one thing that really does help, I think, with like all the things we need to manage and everything is not needing to worry about our podcast website, evanandkatelynpodcast.com. Because Squarespace is up all the time. They monitor it. They keep everything good to go. They have beautiful themes over on Squarespace. I didn't have to design that. No updates, no plugins.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
works
always
on
good
mobile.
To go. It works on mobile.
So when you're up in the attic and you check your podcast website, you can just pull out your phone.
Yep. And then there it is. It's just working. That's the one thing I didn't have to worry about, the whole attic saga.
Yeah, at least that wasn't a stress on top of everything else.
So thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this podcast.
Yep. If you want to check out Squarespace and make an awesome website, you can do a free trial at squarespace.com. And if you want to save 10% off your first purchase, you can go to squarespace.com/EvanandKatelynPodcast.
Yes.
That was good.
Thank you.
Oh,
I thought of it and I was sitting here getting excited.
I could see you getting excited and I didn't know why.
You can see me going, ooh, I have a good transition.
Basically, but I didn't know the words.
Okay.
I could, because there wasn't any noise, but I could still like feel the ooh part of it. that was pretty good.
Thank you.
But yeah, it is strange how like this job does become such a big part of things, like of the way you think about everything.
Yeah.
So like, and we've seen it in tiny bits before, like, and I think it's been a good thing. Like when project stuff goes wrong, we've mentioned this before. I think in like Patreon after shows, but when something goes wrong, you know, we think like, well, bad for the project, good for the good for the video. You know?
I also think that, my gosh, like the attic storage is a perfect example of our job pushing us and allowing us to do projects that would want to do, but might have a hard time finding the time for if it weren't for our channel. You know what I mean?
Just because it's like being in your attic is not fun.
And like we might have done it during winter and it wouldn't have been as taxing to us.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we
never do attic projects in the winter.
Why don't we do that?
I don't know. Well, I think hopefully we're done with attic projects now.
Hopefully. But like the attic storage, it legit is so nice. Walking up there, I feel so much safer with like the proper like boards put into place, all the things covered. Like it really is a huge benefit to us. And I don't know if I'd do that if it weren't for like the job pushing us.
Yeah, that is very true. And I think we can say that about a lot of
I don't think we would have learned welding or blacksmithing if it weren't for...
Yeah, like I think if I wasn't pushed to do things, I'd probably just do like a lot of resin and more art related stuff. Or like occasionally stuff we actually need.
Yeah, but it is nice.
Yeah.
But it also is very strange.
Strange that what?
Well, just strange in general in terms of like how we think about life and how we spend our time and what projects we want to do and like what is worth our time and everything.
Well, that kind of
like the whole gaming thing. It's like we kind of cut games out of our lives until we could figure out a way to make them mean something for our business with, you know, Twitch and Evan and Katelyn Gaming.
With like what does that say? Is that another like, is this healthy or not healthy kind of things?
Maybe we should title this podcast like Evan fell through the roof and it made us rethink our life. I mean, it's not really over dramatizing things because it didn't really make us rethink our life, but it made us think about our life a little bit.
Yeah. You have to question like what's motivated by views and what's motivated by your own thoughts. I don't know.
But like the whole shift in our channel. I mean, we've changed one, we've made podcasts, we've changed two. So there's two podcasts where we talk about like us changing in general.
We'll link to those.
So if you want to like hear more about the first like set of changes we went through and the second set of changes, and I think we're still in the progress of what we talked about in the We've Changed part 2, where we're talking about like our shift more towards like fun and entertaining things that just make us happy and that are like going to be exciting for us to do. But I think that shift is like, you know, done for the right reasons for us, our internal reasons, not for external reasons. You know what I mean? So I think that we are thinking about things from the right perspective, even though it's like, we still do want the views, but like, you know, I mean, we talked about it in We've Changed part 2, but like in December, our views were dropping, things weren't doing well, yet we still continued to push.
That's true.
So, you know, I feel like we are swayed by the views and the performance, but at the same time, we're dedicated to push through it, even if there is a cost, because the cost of giving in and just doing what performs the best would be worse in the long term, because then you're putting yourself more and more and more into a box, and then you realize you're in this box and you can't escape. Yeah. And then that's the worst.
Yeah. And we very much think about the long term a lot.
A lot.
So we're always like future proofing things.
Yeah.
And one of those things is our channel and the type of content we want to make, because we don't want to get boxed in too much.
Yeah.
And avoid it as much as possible.
And that's why we're spending a lot of money on Evan and Katelyn Gaming, and we're not getting like any money back really, but like it's like we're spending the money to hire editors to help us create this content because we don't have time, and we know eventually this investment in the channel is going to be worth it. We have the faith, in large part because of Evan and Katelyn, our main channel, you know, and we see where all of this is going. But I think that you know, that's another long-term thinking right there.
Yeah, well,
and
because
investing in ourselves.
Yeah, well, and with the gaming stuff, you know, like you were saying earlier, that's something we used to do a lot of, and so making it like a long-term viable part of the business will allow us to keep doing this thing that we really like doing. And so Yeah. Long-term balance words, things.
Well, you know what really makes me happy?
What?
My thing of the week. And that is Minecraft. Oh my gosh. Minecraft is just in my head all the time.
I know this is your thing of the week, but technically, but I'm going to agree with you because I feel like I've spent a lot of time since our most recent Minecraft stream, like just thinking in blocks, you know?
I know. I still want to make like glass roofs and like rearrange our house and make it brighter and better and like
we've only played it. I think we have
five
like
times.
five streams.
Yeah.
And you know, we're still like kind of basically noobs at
Very
it. Like
much,
we
yeah.
wouldn't survive without the chat helping us out, telling Evan to eat because he keeps forgetting to eat. But it's so fun, and I'm so excited. We're right now we're building like a little garden outside of our house and like making our house nicer. We've also dug down and mined a bunch of stuff, and then we pillaged a village.
Yes.
It's so fun.
It's so fun.
Sorry, I've been talking more about your thing of the week than you.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. Like, we want to do so much. And it's so interesting because, like, the very first time, like, I had faith in this game and I had high hopes for it because the great thing about Minecraft is it's like you can play it forever. So it can always be something that we go back to. It's like a comfort thing for some reason for me. It's like really like cozy and warm.
Yeah.
Almost. And I think that, what was the other thing I was going to say?
I think you were going to talk about our like first stream.
Oh yeah, the very first stream, Katelyn was like very hesitant.
Yes. Well, I don't typically do well with games that don't have like solid goals. And I know that there's like a dragon at the end that you're supposed to kill and stuff like that. And there are like some...
That was like the thing that I told her to get her playing. There is a dragon at the end, it's true, but like
But there's
that's
not
not
really,
even
like...
fully the point.
Yeah, that's not really like the point of it. I don't...
Now you know.
Yeah, no. But, and there's still like other games that are kind of like sandbox type games like that I don't really get into. Like you've tried to, like we've tried a couple other ones. There's a farming one or like where you make soup and stuff. What was that?
Oh yeah. I know that one.
And we make like soup factories. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really into that. And the first Minecraft stream was one of the most stressful things.
Yeah, you didn't like at the end of it. You were like, I can do it once more, but I'm not sure if I like it. The second one, is that when it flipped?
By the end of the second one, I was all in.
You're like,
all in.
I like this.
I like learned how to craft, so
Yep.
I didn't have to rely on you to make things for me. And I learned how to not die, which is great.
But also, it's like you get attached to that world. I love the world that we're in.
Yeah.
You know that mountain that we found and decided to call home,
Yep.
where we battled those like phantoms the first night.
Yep.
And like
They killed me.
somewhere in the world, Katelyn, is our green top house, like the very first house that we built together.
Yeah.
I think there might be 2 green top houses somewhere out there in the world for us to find in the future, like archaeologists, like, oh, remember this? Our early houses, you know?
Yeah.
And then we're just going to keep on expanding. I'm not sure if I've told you this, Katelyn, but the worlds in Minecraft, they're infinite.
What?
Yeah, infinite. The worlds generate as you explore. So you can keep on exploring and exploring and exploring.
Oh, God.
And it never runs out in a way.
Oh, my God.
So there's like more villages. There's more like...
Do you just like abandon your stashes and stuff everywhere you go?
No, I don't know. I think that like we could make like roads and stuff. You can make railroads and stuff to go between your encampments. You can make different villages. I think that we should probably just like make like what I want to do. And this sounds like a little bit weird,
Okay.
but I want to shape our mountain a little bit and turn it into a
Terraform?
cat.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like find a way to like get up the mountainside and like build up 2 ears
Oh, I'm down.
and like maybe even like put
We need
lava
something-
as eyes.
Yeah,
so to have like two
pouring
like
out.
two eyes or that's pouring out lava. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing to build in survival mode? Because like there's a free play mode where you just like get like godlike powers. You can fly around anywhere. You can terraform anywhere. You have all blocks available, and then you can just like sculpt sculptures. But like,
Yeah.
where's the challenge in that?
Yeah.
I want a stairway that we need to walk up to that tunnels through the mountain up to the top.
Yeah.
That we can walk through to go to the top, and then we terraform that, And then
we should do it.
and then we like make the eyes and everything. It's gonna be awesome.
That'd be cool. It might not be the most exciting stream.
But by the end, we will be victorious.
Yes.
Well, at the same time, we can keep on playing until we find the wings, and then like you can make wings, then you can fly around a little bit. That might make it a little bit easier. And then if we fall off the cliff, then we won't die.
Yeah, I don't want to die again.
Yeah,
that's bad.
No.
So my thing of the week.
Yeah, sorry, I just like talked about Minecraft for a while there.
My thing of the week is a video. So. A lot of you guys know that we are big Simply Nailogical fans. It's a YouTube channel run by Christine. And,
no H.
Yeah, Christine with no H. And one of her recent videos is she has 2 cats, Zyler and Menchie, and she tries all these different methods of taking them outside, like with these various contraptions. So there's like the cat harness. There's the little space bubble cat backpack, and then there's a cat stroller. Mm-hmm. So she she makes sure that they're okay with it. She doesn't push them or anything. She's a very good cat mom. But it was so fun because I really want to get the supervisor a little harness so we can take her on walks.
I think that'd be a fun adventure.
I think it'd be a really fun adventure. I don't think she would she might like the stroller. I do not think she would like the backpack.
Oh, no.
She'd probably, she would not be into that.
She might like the stroller.
She might like the stroller because she likes being pushed around, in a thing.
She does.
Caitlin,
are we going to get a cat stroller?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
No. I probably won't.
Oh, my gosh.
We probably won't, only because
Katelyn.
I don't want it as, a big thing that we have to store. What?
DIY cat stroller.
Can we make it, foldable and stuff? Oh, it's not going to be as good as the ones you can buy. What are we going to make it out of?
Wood.
It's
like this big blocky thing.
It's terrible. No. Maybe a cat wagon.
Do we just buy a wagon and then put her
mesh
box in it?
Yeah.
Just put her carrier box.
We need to build a mesh around it.
Put some blankets in there.
Yeah, blankets and mesh.
Might be a fun idea.
It might be. But yeah, she really likes being pushed around in her box. So, we usually have
Where are we going to store it?
We'll worry about that later. No, I don't know. In the attic.
Katelyn, what if we just build another shed?
Oh, no.
Everyone said we needed a bigger shed. Are we going to prove them right?
No, we won't. No, the shed is good. We require no more shed. No, but she likes being pushed around when she's sleeping in a box because we have a couple Amazon boxes around the house that she likes to sleep in. And one of her favorite things is if you just scoot her around in it. Mm-hmm. She loves it. And if you are scooting it and she's not in it, she'll hop in it so that she can be scooted. So she might like the stroller.
So maybe we get a big cardboard box that's about the size of a little wagon, like a red wheel wagon or something. We cut holes in it, add some mesh to the sides, trap her in the box, put her in the wagon, and then carry her around the neighborhood.
Yeah, so then she'll be happy.
Maybe. We'll see.
But yeah, it was a really good video. It's good, wholesome cat stuff.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us on today's podcast. I know that this was a little bit of a different one. We kind of we went in with very little plan, and we just wanted to kind of do stream of conscious and record this moment and share it with you guys in as raw of a form as we can.
Yeah.
And I think that we led to some interesting places.
And we've been reading y'all's requests in terms of, what kind of podcast you want. And it seems like you guys really like story times. So we thought it'd be fun to do a full story time.
Hot off the press.
Off the press. Hot off the press.
That's what they said back in the day.
You're fresh. I love you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Leave comments, leave ratings, leave reviews. Thank you.
Good things. Bye.